Hello there, I'm Professor Boondoggle from the future, and I had my microphone shut off for this entire hour-long recording. So I'm gonna have to go back through and revoice most of it. I would normally just reload a save and pretend like it never happened, but I saved over this save that you're about to see. So yeah, we're gonna have to do some post-recording commentary, which I've never done before, so we'll see how this goes. So we're picking up right where we left off, trying to kill these guys in this house. I noticed that I could shoot through a window to try to kill some of them in here, and I was hoping that'd be a good way to get Tycho to stay back and let them all come out to shoot them. So we're gonna take the shot through the window at one of them. I keep debating if I should use bats or not. I end up shooting him in the right arm, hoping that it'll make his shooting a little worse, but they'll see what happens. We don't win this fight. At least not yet. Yeah, Tycho, of course, runs forward. Something weird was going on with his gun, where even though he had a sniper, he kept trying to melee. That was super annoying. I'm pretty sure I just die here pretty fast, but I'll keep it in to show you like the first attempt. Yeah, they just crit Tycho, they're killing us. I think these guys have combat shotguns, and that's why they're dealing so much damage to us. I was trying to get some like good shots on them, but the percentages were just so low. Plus we're splitting fire again, which is never good. And I'm pretty sure... Yeah, Tycho just took someone out, but then we were critically hit for 40 and we died. There you go. First attempt sucked. The second time here, Tycho took like 100 hit points in the first turn, so I just reloaded. Another wasted try. So at this point, I was trying to figure out how to get Tycho to stay back, and so I had him leave the party where he'll stand there forever to see if I could shoot in and draw them out, but he ended up not like joining the combat, and so I was trying to get them to maybe shoot the guards to see if the guards would get drawn into combat. Didn't really work either, so another failed attempt here. Eventually, I figured out that you can actually adjust companions' like behavior. So I set Tycho to stand back and snipe people, which I think should help, and it ended up doing something in the fight. He's still, of course, running forward like an idiot, but he'll try to avoid being in close combat, I think, now. So that was a cool sort of thing to figure out, that you can customize your companion's behavior a little bit. So this is where things kind of got weird during the fight. Tycho, I think he's attempting to be at range with his sniper, but instead he just like runs off the map. I don't know what that's about. And then that guy starts to run away, so we don't actually get to loot that guy, but I think he just had some melee weapons, so who cares. But Tycho doesn't actually leave the screen. I thought he'd run away because he'd been hit, but he's actually just on the corner right there, and he killed someone, so yeah, not too bad. This guy gets away. Yeah. And that's the end of combat. Kind of crazy that we made it through this. There's actually one guy left. I tried to see if we could follow that guy. We could not. So I loot the corpses. They don't really have anything crazy good on them, except for one of them has a combat shotgun, which I do end up keeping, I think. I might sell it at some point. But yeah, I go into the house here, and there's just a dude who he was clearly deaf. I don't know. So we just finish him off. He must have been shot a couple times. Might have been the guy we shot at the very beginning. I don't know why he wouldn't chase us out, but there you go. Now he's dead. So of course, after we kill those people, what do you do when you kill people? You loot their houses and see what valuables they were so desperately attempting to protect. There's not actually anything in here to loot. There's the dead guy with his submachine gun and a locked door. Thankfully, we've been putting a lot of skill points into lockpicking, so we're able to get through it. pretty easily. I kind of still don't know where everything is. There we go. Found the lockpick button. And there's just a dude in here. A battered man. Thank you, stranger. I don't know how many weeks, perhaps months, those thugs have had me here. I'm very grateful for your help, and I'm sure the Brotherhood of Steel is also. Well, I'm glad I could be of help. Thanks again. If you stop by the Brotherhood, I'd appreciate it if you could let Talos know I'm okay. I'm sure he's worried. Bye, and take care. Yeah, so I guess the reward there is you have like an in with the Brotherhood since you helped one of their members. This is the first one we've actually ran into. We've had some people talk about them, but yeah, we haven't actually met any of their members. So I go over here and talk to Jacob and just sell all the crap we picked up because I didn't really want to carry it on me. We end up making about $2.5 grand, a little bit more. So I'll just cut most of that out. You don't need to see it. Anyways, I decide that it's time to head out and meet the Brotherhood since we've been hearing so much about them. And now we've saved a member, maybe they'll give us something for it. I don't really know where to go for at this point for the water chip, other than maybe Necropolis supposedly has it. So yeah, we make our way to the Brotherhood, go through a million random encounters. Thankfully, this first one was, they were just guards. They didn't do anything. They didn't really have anything to say, so. And of course, we eventually make it to the Brotherhood of Steel bunker, where I recognize that flag or their symbol right there.
Hello, and welcome to the Brotherhood of Steel. May I ask your business here?
Can I ask you a few questions?
I'm sorry, I really can't. They said not.
Okay.
Well, hello again. You decide what you wanted?
Yeah, sure.
That's
I'd like
great.
to join.
Wait here a second, and let me see what you need to do. Well, I talked to the High Elder, and he said that not just anyone can join. He said you have to complete a quest first.
Like what?
You have to go to the ruins of the Ancient Order, that's south of here. You've got to go inside and bring back something that proves that you were there.
How will you know if it's from inside that place?
This place is high-tech. There's things inside like you've never seen before. Oh, it's also radioactive.
Okay, I'll do it.
You'll do it? You will? Great. Just bring it back here. Good luck.
Yeah. Says Mr. Power Armor. So you took the famous glow quest, huh? The glow, what's that? The glow, as it is known to topsiders, was supposedly a place where some of the most advanced weapons of that time were developed. At least that's what it says in the ancient writings. Now, as far as any of us can tell, it's a big crater filled with rads. I think the elders send Brotherhood wannabes down there just to get rid of them. Others? There were others before me? Others have tried. We've never heard from them again. What should I watch for when I go down there? Well, to start, it's a good 10 days travel to the southeast from here. Then there's the radiation. There's a reason none of us have ever gone to the Ancient Order. If you don't have Rad-X, you'll be cooked before you even know what hit you. Thanks for the info. Bye-bye. I tried to break into the vault here. It's locked. Who would have thunk? So I take the Paladin's advice and head back to the hub to try to find some Rad-X. Obviously, we don't have like a radiation suit or anything useful like that, so we're just gonna have to down a bunch of Rad-X and hope it works. I end up finding a guy named Vance who sells drugs in the downtown, and he ended up actually having some Rad-X on him, so I think I buy about 4 of them from him. Yeah, I sell our anti-venom, our psycho, and whatnot, and then buy some drugs. We're gonna have to make our way to the glow. Hopefully we have everything we need. So after a million random encounters later, including this one, we run into a... what are they called? Not a centaur. A floater? Yeah, we run into one of these floaters since we're super near the center of the glow. And I shoot it in the ganglion, which I don't really know what that is, but it seems like that's its eye. And then I shoot it in its float sack and it dies. So I think I made the right calls there. But yeah, we're right outside some random encounter with mines. I decide to take the Radaway pills right now because I'm not sure if we're actually in radiation at this point. It ends up being a giant waste, but how was I supposed to know any better? This cave is full of mantis You kill them in one shot. They're as weak as they are in New Vegas. But I noticed on the ground here, there are some gold nuggets. And I figured, hey, those got to be worth something, right? So I make my way over there, kill some mantis, pick up these nuggets. They end up not being worth jack, which is really disappointing. Basically wasted our ammo to kill those mantis. But then we finally make it to the glow, and I guess the Rad-X wore off, which makes sense, but we've been getting radiated this whole time, so now our radiation bar is in the red. So I end up taking our last 2 Rad-X's to max it out and hope it's enough to get us through. I'm trying to find out what radiated means. I think you just take damage over time and eventually you die. Oh well. I think we should be okay. Anyway, I wander around this area and can't find anything besides dead losers. People who've died from rads, I guess, are losers. Yeah, I searched the whole area, not seeing anything I can actually interact with. Until I sort of click on the pit a few times and I see you can actually interact with this steel beam. And it says you cannot climb down the pit with just the metal beam. So I figure out that we must need a rope. And so I go back and reload right after getting those gold nuggets because I just wasted my Rad-X and I don't want to have to go buy more. But now we have to head all the way back to the hub to buy a freaking rope. Because I didn't know we needed a rope. But of course we do. 20 minutes later, I'm finally back with the rope. It takes me a second to remember to stick it on my hotbar. But eventually I figured it out. And now we can actually descend down into the glow. What a pain, what a pain. The first thing I noticed is obviously the Brotherhood of Steel power armor over there. But I want to make sure we're not missing anything just walking by. And I noticed these lockers. Tycho is of course blocking our way as he always does. Have to shove him out of the way, get over there. I don't recall these lockers having very good loot in them. Yeah, these ones might not have even had anything in them. Stim pack. I checked the lockers over here. I think they do have something in them. Just kind of junk, like a motion sensor tool, big book of science. That's pretty good, actually. Brass knuckles, I take it. There's a locker on the wall that I loot. Hunting rifle, why not? And yeah, just some more guns, which is okay. We can always sell those. I try to search around the room, see if my Rad-X is still working. Step on a landmine, and yeah, loot the Brotherhood of Steel member. He has a yellow access card and a tape. Or a disc, I guess the game calls it. I click on this glowing terminal and mess around with it. You can shut off the power. I don't know why you would want to, so I turn it off and turn it back on again. I don't really know what I'm doing. So I put on the tape and listen to it, and it gives me an update in our Pip-Boy called an Ancient Brotherhood tape. Captain Maxon was right. This place is death. I'm writing this so that if we don't make it back, someone someday might find out what happened to us. We made it to the West Tech research facility after 20 days of hell. But that was the easy part. The radiation levels began to shoot up as soon as we could see the giant crater. We checked our supplies and figured with our armor and our anti-rad supplies we'd be fine for at least a day of exploring. We felt it was a calculated risk, but the technology we had the potential of recovering was worth it. We climbed down the crater to the first level and everything seemed to be according to plan. The power was off, so we didn't need to circumvent the security, or so we thought. There wasn't much of value on this level, so we pushed on. The second level was more of the same. When Jensen dropped to the third level, all hell broke loose. The security sensors had been burned out on the first 2 levels, but not on the third. Jensen was cut to ribbons before he knew what had happened. We'd never seen weapons cut through power armor like that. Men started dropping left and right, and the ones who were still alive lost it. I tried to regroup, but only Soto and Camillero made it back up here to the first level with me. The fact that I can smell Soto's burning flesh where his arm was taken off means that my power armor is no longer airtight, so I'm sucking up a lot more rads than I had planned on. I'm leaking hydraulics at an alarming rate. We need to get far enough away from this place before my armor dies. Camillero seemed fine physically, but he wandered off about an hour ago, mumbling something about Gehenna. That boy has all the anti-rad. That leaves Soto and myself. We can't make it far enough away from here without the anti-rads, so I've got to try to find him before it's too late. Sergeant D. Allen, United States Armed Forces. So hoping this is enough, I sort of bolt out of there. I don't know how long our Radix is going to last, and because our radiation is already bright red, I'm just trying to get out of here. Hopefully this is enough. It ends up being enough. I can tell you that from the future. So it was a good choice. We leave and we start making our way back to the Brotherhood bunker.
Hey, you're back. Did you get something?
I sure did.
But the High Elder said you have to give it to me before I can let you in. Sorry.
Okay.
This is great. Hang on while I open the door.
Sure. And we got a level up. Nice.
Well, hello. What can I help you with?
Can I ask you a few questions? What exactly do you do?
I greet people at the gates and decide whether to let them in. You and the merchants are about the only ones that get in now because the elders seem like they're preparing for something.
Do you know what it could be about?
I don't know, but I've heard the High Elder arguing with the other elders. Goodbye.
All right, well, we could keep talking to him, but let's just go inside. I'm excited to see the bunker. Pretty cool looking. I really like the design of the Brotherhood of Steel bunker. It looks so different to everything else we've ran into. You know, the vaults are all old and rusted. It kind of looks like a fancier version of our character's vault. I'm just kind of looking around, trying to see if anyone's worth talking to. I talked to Rhombus for a second, but most of what he has to say isn't that important. So I actually noticed someone named Talus on the other side of the bunker, and that's the guy we were supposed to talk to, so... Hello, stranger. I heard you're the one to thank for the safe return of my missing initiate. You're welcome. As for your reward, I'll give you the choice of one of the following. Rocket launcher, magneto laser pistol, super sledge, or power armor. We, of course, are going to take the power armor. Why would we not? I'll key your authorization in right now. Go pick it up from Michael. Michael's just the guy over here at the desk. Hello, brother. How can I help you? I've been given authorization to check with something out. Could you check the terminal to see if it went through yet? Okay, let me see here. Yes, you do have the authorization to check something out. Power armor. Be sure to take care of it. I can't give it out more in one set. Was there another item you needed? No. Yeah, so here's the freaking power armor. It increases our strength by 3, which gives us a lot of extra carry weight. Makes our armor class go from 19 to 34. And gives us some pretty crazy resistances. So of course we're going to be rolling with that. Plus it just looks super cool. I really like the model in this game for it. Hello again, how are you doing today? How can I help you? Is there anything I can help you with? You seem to be awfully busy. Well, actually, Sophia has been in need of some EMP grenades, but I haven't had a chance to run them down to her yet. Do you think you could run them down for me? Sure, hand them over. Okay, there you go. She is one of the assistant head scribes for Vree. She is normally in the library on the 3rd floor. So we head down to the next floor just to turn these in. They are kind of heavy-ish. They're weighing us down. Our power armor is taking up a lot of our carry weight now. We need to go sell some stuff. I'm trying to find where she is. She's right there. I understand you have something for me. Yes, here you are. Thank you very much. It was nice of you to drop these off. Just trying to endear ourselves with the local populace. But yeah, I think I am unfortunately going to end the video there for today. This video took a very, very long time to edit. And despite it being a long recording, just me having to voice it over has shortened it immensely. Next episode, I'm going to make sure the mic's working, so won't have to do this again. I apologize if you were expecting a bit of a longer video. Not a lot of people seem to watch the Fallout series though, so hopefully I'm not disappointing too many people. If you've enjoyed this content, consider liking and subscribing if you have not already. Maybe one day I can hire someone that'll do a mic check for me to make sure this never happens again. I'm just kidding. Anyways, thanks for watching and peace out.